Guys, it's done. I finally unlocked Interstellar. Now, it's time for me to show you how you can do it too. So we're gonna go through every single stage that you need to go through to obtain this camo. Now, there's at least 5 of them, and I might or might not have a secret one at the end. So, stick around. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you do, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and on to the video. So number 1 is getting your guns leveled up. Now this one is definitely the one that is gonna torch your time. But there's 4 ways to make this way easier than it should be. Number 1 is definitely the double weapon XP tokens. What this is gonna do, it's gonna double the XP you gain throughout the games while getting kills and all of that. So pretty much you're gonna be leveling up twice as fast. Now how do you obtain these double weapon XP tokens? Obviously you have the battle pass, you have the store, and you got challenges. Now, if for some reason you don't have double weapon XP tokens, Call of Duty usually does double XP weekends. So make sure you play and you grind the most on those weekends. If you do have the tokens, then make sure you save those. And on top of that, make sure you use those on the guns you struggle the most. It's much more effective if you spend that token, let's say on a sniper or a marksman rifle, a gun that you struggle, it's gonna be way slower to level up than it would be with an SMG or an AR. Now, number 2, you wanna make sure you play game modes like Domination, Hardpoint, instead of playing Team Deathmatch, for example. Why is that? Obviously, so all the XP that you gain while getting kills like capturing a flag on Domination or capturing a point in Hardpoint, all that XP goes towards your weapon, making it easier on you to level up that gun. So make sure you do that. Number 3 is tactical usage. With that, I mean, make sure you use your tacticals. Make sure you use stuns, decoy grenades, stuff like that. And on top of that, make sure you use field upgrades like the DDoS and stuff. Because all that XP, all those assists that you get from the tacticals and the field upgrades will as well go towards your weapon, therefore speeding up the process. Last but not least, you want to make sure you play small size maps. That is because obviously you want to get as many kills as possible because that's how you gain your XP. One last step that I would say, it helped me a lot. Definitely make sure you level up the guns before you start the camo challenges. That is simply because you will notice after getting max level on the gun that the majority of the common challenges will already be done. And that is because these challenges are so simple that you naturally, by playing the game, will end up unlocking them. So that's my tip. On to the next one. So number 2, we're gonna go through every category in the game and I'm gonna tell you exactly how you should play with these weapons. Now obviously there are some challenges that kind of require you to play a different playing style no matter the category. So let's start with an SMG. Okay, so SMG, you can play hardcore, you can play core, it really doesn't matter, you can play both. Now for an SMG, obviously you know SMGs have a little bit of recoil, so therefore they are way better in close range gunfights. You want to play small sized maps majority of the time. The only time that you might go away from the small sized maps is indeed when you have challenges like long shots and something like that. So SMGs, obviously they are better at point blank range, so therefore you want to play small sized maps, and hardcore core doesn't really matter. Now assault rifles, pretty much the same as SMGs. Hardcore core doesn't really matter, they're good either way, so therefore don't really bother with that. Now for the maps, small size maps for camos and for XP usually are better, but obviously you do have guns that don't play so well in small size maps. If you do tend to struggle a little bit more, then obviously they are slightly better in medium size maps, big size maps, you know, for the longer range. Now battle rifles, pretty much the same as assault rifles. Hardcore core doesn't really matter, and obviously medium sized maps to small size maps usually work best. Onto the shotguns. The shotguns are one of those categories that are a little bit different. Now, shotguns are intended to kill with 1 bullet. Therefore, it makes no sense for you to play hardcore with a shotgun. especially not with the Lockwood. Now, shotguns like the Haymaker, the Riveteer, those work best in hardcore because obviously you can spray all you want while playing core that those guns won't kill with one bullet. They're still good in core, but obviously a shotgun that can spray, that is not a one-shot, one-kill, it's much better on hardcore. Therefore, I would say for the Lockwood shotgun, play core 100%. For the Riveteer and the Haymaker, obviously, hardcore, in my opinion, is the best game mode for you to play. Now, about the maps, no doubt, you should be playing small-sized maps. It's a shotgun. It has no range whatsoever. So therefore, playing small-sized maps is by far the best and only option you got. LMGs are really big weapons and really slow aiming in. Now, by default, that is not a good combination for hardcore, is it? So, in my opinion, you should be playing core with these weapons, even though they are pretty good at hardcore, but you gotta make sure you're holding an L trigger instead of running at players. Now, for the maps, again, any size doesn't really matter. Small size map is better for interactions, but again, you can't be running around on a small size map. You need to make sure you hold your L trigger. If that's the case, then you'll be good. If not, play medium sized maps, no problem at all. Now, for the marksman rifles, I'm not gonna lie, they are really good at hardcore, but again, marksman rifles kind of kill with 1 or 2 bullets. It kind of depends on the gun you're using, but they work at any game mode, hardcore or core. You should be good with any of those. And then maps, again, pretty much the same. Medium sized maps, small sized maps. It's a slow weapon, so small sized maps, if you struggle, running that on a small sized map is not going to be the best for you. You need to make sure you're not running into people with this gun because this gun is not a fast shooting gun. Make sure you do hold your L trigger, same as the LMGs, and make sure you play behind a head glitch, especially if you struggle because those guns are more effective in those positions. Now, snipers are the biggest one. Snipers, you want to make sure you are not playing hardcore. Now, why would you play hardcore with a gun that is a guaranteed one shot, one kill in multiplayer? Makes no sense. Snipers is by far a gun that plays best at core. That's where the snipers gain advantage. So therefore, snipers play core, and definitely for the maps, again, especially if you struggle, make sure you play big sized maps or even medium sized maps. Shipment in here won't be as effective for you because it does take a long time to aim. Make sure you play core, make sure you play big sized maps with a sniper, especially if you struggle. The knife is pretty simple. Play some core multiplayer and make sure you play shipment, the smallest map you can, because again, you don't have bullets. You gotta run at people. Therefore, you wanna have time to get there. So core, small size maps, no doubt. Same thing goes for the launchers, if indeed you are going with the RGL80. So you wanna make sure you play small size maps. Now for the core, hardcore really doesn't matter. To be honest, for direct impacts, it might be better for core, especially if you're trying to aim in with the RGL80. For double kills and all of that, hardcore usually is the best. You can literally just play shipment, start spraying the launcher, and you'll get 1 or 2 kills. So it's not really that hard. That's pretty much every category in the game. Now, like I said, different challenges are gonna request you to play in different ways, but we'll get there. Okay, now we get to the camos. First, we got the Gilded Camo Challenge. Or gold, yeah. So every category has its own Gilded Challenge. All the SMGs have the same challenge, all the ARs have the same challenge, and so on. So here are the toughest Gilded Camo challenges. These 3 are by far the most annoying ones. Now, they are not that annoying though, because to be honest, every Gilded challenge is actually pretty easy. Let's start on the knife. Get 10 kills on operators affected by your tactical. Now you are gonna see a lot of this in this video because these are probably one of the most annoying challenges that you're gonna find while grinding for Interstellar. Yeah, bear with me. Now, first, you want to make sure you use the engineer vest because that thing allows you to carry 2 tacticals instead of 1. So make sure you have that on. Second, munitions box, DDoS, probably the best field upgrades for you to use. Now, for the game mode, make sure you're playing core because you are playing with a knife, like I said before. You don't want to die instantly. And make sure you're playing small size maps. As I said before, you are playing with a knife, you need to be up and close. So the least you gotta run, the better. For me, shipment was by far far the best option, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. As you can see, shipment does have 4 corners on the map, right? The easiest thing to do is look at the minimap, look exactly where the blue dots, aka your team, is spawning at, and automatically you will know that potentially the other team, aka the red dots, are probably spawning on the opposite side. Even if you don't see any red dots, if the minimap is empty on the other side, they're probably spawning on the corners that are empty on the minimap. So you want to make sure you spawn in, throw the stun to that corner, run to that corner right away, and get the kill. Now, some people use the riot shield. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't went for that simply because it makes you so much slower that you're gonna find yourself getting killed before you get to the enemy multiple times. So just make sure you're playing shipment, use your tacticals correctly, and you probably should be good. There's not much space for them to run. Now we got the LMGs. Again, this one is not even that hard, but I do understand that some people might struggle with this one, so this is why I picked it. Get 2 kills without releasing the trigger 10 times. Hardcore is much easier for you to get these kills. Now you want to make sure you have a really big magazine because you can't guarantee that 2 people are going to chow you at the same time. And I know it sounds crazy, make sure you're playing a map like shipment. You want to make sure you play behind cover, holding the L trigger all the time. So pretty much just sit behind the box, sit behind a head glitch, aiming towards a place where you expect someone to come from. This is the perfect spot for you to do this. As you can see, this was literally where I got mine. Now, as soon as you see a guy, you want to spray, and then you get the first kill and just keep spraying, go back and forth from places where you expect these players to come. So left, right. As you can see here, I was just spraying left and right, and that's why you want to play hardcore, so that the enemy doesn't have time to react. Just make sure you put a magazine, play behind the head glitch, hold the L trigger. As long as you do that, you should be good. Now, last but not least, we got the awful launcher. Yeah. Now for the gilded challenge, I'm not gonna lie, it's not even that hard. Get 10 kills by hitting the enemy with a direct impact. Pretty simple. All you gotta do is hit someone with one of the grenades that comes out of the launcher. For this one, the only thing you want to make sure is that you are playing small sized maps. I did it on shipment. Meat is also a good map for that. Any small sized map, like I'm talking about really small sized map, usually is good for you because you want people to be running at you and be an easy direct impact. Now focus on your crosshair. As long as you focus on that and try to put your crosshair exactly where the player is, you should be good. It sounds harder than it is. You just make sure you want to focus on the crosshair, play really small size maps so you get those opportunities where you're bumping into people and getting that direct impact super easy. Those are pretty much all the toughest challenges that you gotta worry about in the Gilded Camo Challenge section. Now let's get to the real ones. So here come the Forge Camo challenges. These are obviously the toughest ones that you're probably gonna have to worry about. Let's start with the penetration kills. Oh boy, now everybody struggles with these ones. Now this specific one is for the Cat AMR sniper rifle. Cause why not? Getting penetration kills with snipers. Sure, make it easy. So some spots you can use are these two. First, the scrapyard one in the warehouse. You can use this fence to do your wall bangs. Now, it does work both ways. Either you can use this fence looking at the B flag, pretty much like I'm doing here, or if you prefer the other way around, looking at the spawn, it also works. Now, the only problem with this one is that we don't have a scrapyard playlist. So finding a match on scrapyard might be a little time torching. The other one is on shipment, just behind this container. Now this one, although a little bit harder, at least it's easier to find the map. You want to make sure you're looking more or less at this height. Now I would choose hardcore because you don't want those nasty hit markers while you're doing wall bangs. Yeah, not fun. You want to make sure you use the right ammunition on this gun. So I'm talking about the bullet penetration ammo, like this 50 cal. This one will do the job. Now onto the MCW. I only chose this challenge because I know there are some of you that might struggle going on streaks. Get 3 kills without dying 10 times. It is pretty simple. Trust me, it is. Now, hardcore or core doesn't really matter. Usually small to medium size maps are the best so you can speed it up. But if you do do tend to struggle going on streaks, then big size maps helps you a ton. Now, all you gotta do is literally play like an AR. Play behind cover, hold your head glitch, especially on shipment, and wait for them to come to you whenever you are on that third kill. The first two, however, no need to camp. Just make sure you play a little bit slower every time you need these 3 kill streaks, bloodthirsties, and it should be easy. Next, we got the WSP Swarm. Get 10 hipfire kills while the enemy is affected by your tactical. What makes this one a little harder than the previous tactical challenge is that you gotta get the kills with hipfire only. So, first of all, build a class setup using every attachment possible where you get a green arrow for the hipfire, including obviously a laser sight. As for the maps, hipfire has almost no range at all, so you want to make sure you play small sized maps because you want to be in the enemy's face. The extras, like I said before, make sure you got the engineer vest so it gives you an extra stun. Field upgrade, you can use munitions box or the DDoS for the trophies, and if you're playing shipment, you already know, pick one of the corners where your team is not spawning, throw a stun, run at them, and get the kill. Now, these two are definitely as annoying, if not more annoying, than the penetration kills. Let's start with the knife. Get 5 kills without dying 5 times. Now, the only thing that makes this annoying is the fact that you are playing with the knife. Off the bat, you are forced to play small sized maps because if you don't, this is gonna take so much time and you are going to lose it. Shipment, Dust Hawes are really good maps for this one. More so Dust Hawes because shipment can get a little bit chaotic. As soon as you get your third kill, you want to make sure you slow it down a little bit and start positioning yourself in a better way. Something like licking a wall, hiding in a corner that you know the enemy is gonna go by and you can knife them as soon as they show up instead of facing them head on is probably the better way. But make sure you position yourself closer to the spawn, otherwise you'll have no map control, and if you get pinned in your spawn, yeah, good luck. Now onto the worst challenge in this game. It is not even funny. Destroy 25 enemy equipment. Now for this one to work, you need to be able to destroy bouncing baddies and claymores. That's it. That's the list. Yeah, not gonna lie, I definitely messed up with this one. But there is an easier way to get this one done. What 99% of the players is doing is type in the lobby chat and ask to the players in the lobby to plant mines and claymores, essentially so you can destroy them. I know weird, but trust me, everybody's doing it. It works because everybody knows how dumb the challenge is. Now, the only other way is to have the RGL-80 as your secondary at all times, so you are able to use it as soon as you see a claymore or mine. In my personal experience, I did find more of these in the war game mode, but those games do take longer, so it might not be as efficient. Just make sure you type in the chat or you use the launcher at all times. Now we get to the last part of the camo challenges. We got the priceless camo challenges. About these, yeah, they're not hard at all. So as you guys can see, in my opinion, these were the toughest out of all the priceless camo challenges. Now let's get to the first one. We got the LMG DG58. Get 25 hipfire kills while strafing. Now the only reason why I picked this one is because you gotta get hipfire kills with an LMG. Yeah, that makes no sense. The tips that I have for you on this one, again, build a class only for hipfire and make sure you play small size maps. Now you are playing with an LMG, so do not get caught sprinting, and let's not forget you need to do this while strafing. Now strafing, pretty simple, is pretty much shooting while you're going side to side, so you want to make sure you use both of your analogs. Now in my opinion, hardcore shipment is the best you can play. Next, we got the MTZ interceptor. Get 5 operated kills without dying 5 times. The positive thing is that you don't have to use the knife. So best tip I got for this one, always put yourself behind cover on a head glitch, holding the L trigger. That's literally the best way to play with these kind of weapons that have a pretty slow fire rate. Now I found shipment the easiest on this one for sure. Hardcore, core, really a preference for you. Just make sure you play that way on shipment, because holding one of the 4 head glitches on this map and aiming towards the opposite side of the map, trust me, they will literally come to you. Next, we got the MTZ assault rifle. Get 10 enemies affected by your tactical while in Textans. Now the same thing as I talked about for the WSP Swarm SMG on the Forge Camo challenge, you want to make sure you build your class. Make sure you build a class setup for this challenge, aka for tactical stance. Use a laser sight. When it comes to tacticals, you already know what to do. do: engineer vest, stuns, field upgrades, easy. Now, same as the hipfire, tactical stance has no range whatsoever, so small size maps like shipment work wonders. And of course, hardcore, so you get those kills out of the way faster. Trust me, you are gonna miss bullets, so hardcore is gonna make it easier on you. Now, revenge kills. On this one, there really isn't nothing special you should do, but play the way you should with a knife. So small size maps, core, definitely the way to go. The only thing you should do to help you out a little bit is every time you die, make sure to look at the kill feed and see the name of the guy that killed you, so you can know as soon as you kill the same guy, that's when you get your revenge kill. Now, looking at the skin also helps. You know exactly who you're trying to hunt, and you can play it a little more strategically. Now, last but not least, definitely not least, get 25 double kills with the RGL80. Now, these double kills aren't even nearly as bad as the Forge Camo challenge on this one. All you gotta do is play hardcore, small size maps. Shipment is by far the best for this because you only got 4 corners. There is not much space for them to run. So playing hardcore, shipment, it's really hard to avoid the grenades. Make sure you do spam it as soon as you see 1 or 2 guys, even if it's across you and across the map. Make sure you spam all 6 grenades because it is really that easy to get double kills on hardcore. Now, one tip that I got for you, I would advise you to use DDoS, especially from my personal experience, because I did find a lot of players running trophy as soon as they noticed that someone on the other team was using the launcher. So just make sure you do that, and trust me, this one, it's not even comparable to the claymores. That's it. Now go get it. But first, the secret tip that I have for you, make sure you start with the worst category possible. I'm talking about snipers, launcher, knife, whatever you hate the most, get that done ASAP. And that is simply because in the beginning of the grind, you are still sane and you can still somewhat have fun. So trust me, you don't want to get stuck doing the launchers when you're missing 1 or 2 guns to get Interstellar. So make sure you do that. It'll be a lot easier on your mind. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below 0 out of 10. How much do you rate the Interstellar? I'm not gonna lie, for me it might be a 6. Shit kinda meaty.